My name is Randy Bartholomew, Integrated Solutions Manager, and I've been with the company 12 years now. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Analyze section of the John Deere Ops Center. John Deere's changed a lot of it around, and there's a lot of good tools in here, but we want to make sure that you understand how to use them and where they're at. So with that being said, you guys remember the old agronomic reports. The agronomic reports were those simple paper reports that we used to print out. That function has gone away, and we've actually included it now in where we call Analyze. So if we click on the Analyze tab up here, we have lots of options here, but for this video we're going to focus is right on the top section where it says Analyze again. So this will open us up to what you guys probably remember as the old, again, agronomic reports, but it's now called Analyze. So across the top, it's laid out very simple, okay? So our view, we have options of application, harvest, seeding, and tillage, okay? So for today, let's say we want to look at some harvest data, okay? Once we click on harvest, we also have options to sort by the year and to sort by the crop type. So let's say, you know what, let's stick with 2020, but let's go back and look at soybeans for 2020, okay? So now you can see automatically that all of our fields are sorted out here by harvest, 2020, and soybeans, okay? So each field is very interesting. We have a fields button at the top and a varieties button. Right now we can look at this back 29, okay, and know that there are two varieties within that back 29 field, okay? Or we can select the varieties icon and it will list out all of our varieties and show us how many fields are actually planted to that variety. So if we click on this variety right here and click on this 6, it actually kicks us back out and shows us the 6 fields where that variety was planted at. So again, a lot of logic put into this, a lot of thought put into this on how is the easiest and the fastest way to get you guys the data that you're looking for. So let's click the back arrow up here again. We'll back out of here and we'll go back to the fields section again. So we're looking at harvest 2020 soybeans. We also have some options here if we want to run some reports and we don't want to look at all the fields, we want to be a little more specific. We can click on the fields button. And let's say that we just want to look at the back 29 and the ball field, okay? So we click done here. Again, it automatically filters out to those 2 fields, okay? So that if we want to run reports based off of just those, it's simple over here on this export button, okay? So here's our filter right here showing we're only looking at 2 fields. If we click on the X, it kicks that filter off, okay? So now we're looking at all fields. We can filter by varieties, or we can go all the way over and click on the More Filters button, okay? So when we click on More Filters, we have client, farm, and field, okay? We can sort by varieties, or we can sort by date range, or filter by date range, sorry. So if we wanted to see what was just happening in the last week, what did we get done in the last 7 days, we can select this rolling 7. Now obviously that filtered everything out, okay? We're filming this in the middle of winter, okay? But if you wanted to know what happened in the last 7 days and a paper report of it, simply go to this filter, click on the rolling 7 date, and it will filter all that out for us, okay? Now, to undo our filters, we're just gonna click clear all, and then we will exit out of here to get back to our main page. So again, looking at harvest for this year, let's say we wanted to look at this back 29 field, okay? We've got average moisture, average dry yield, all that. So our printed paper reports that we typically have. But what if we want to get more in depth on this field, okay? So if we click on this map icon right here, it will actually switch us over from the Analyze section to the Field Analyze Beta program within the Ops Center. So the Field Analyze Beta, okay, gives us a lot of options that the regular one doesn't. So some things we need to note here. One of them is something that you guys have been asking for forever, and that is the legends are now changeable. We can edit these legends, okay? We can also create templates and save those templates if we want to apply the same legend to multiple fields. Going back to the old Apex days, right? Being able to create those legends, create those templates, and apply them across all your soybeans or all your irrigated, and the ability to have legends that were more geared towards irrigated corn versus maybe dryland corn, okay? So they can be changed and saved within Field Analyzer Beta. So let's click cancel to get out of there. Going back to some other options that we remember from Apex, right, is we had a selector tool. So let's say that I wanted to take my polygon tool here and I wanted to know what's going on with this little red section of the field right here, right? So I draw my little shape around it. And as I do that, it comes up at the bottom and says, all right, here's the data for the section that you selected. Okay, so I picked about 1.3 acres out of this field, which was 2,400 acres. Okay, total dry yield was 64 bushel, but here's really what we're looking for. The average dry yield is 52 bushel versus the average of that field being 58. Okay, so now we can start digging in deeper into sections of the field and really analyze that data more on a granular concept versus just whole field like we see a lot with the regular field analyzer. Okay, so let's clear that off of there. And let's talk about kind of how the logic works within Field Analyzer and some of the things that Deere's trying to teach and show without having to put a whole lot of effort into it. So we can have two operations over here. So I'm going to switch my top operation to soybean seeding. Okay, my layer is going to be as applied. In my second operation, I'm going to switch it to that same 2020 year, but my soybean harvest. Okay, and we're looking at dry yield. So without pushing any more buttons other than selecting those two maps, right? So a very common thing, Deere's really taking a stab at what you're trying to find. And the first thing that they show you without asking any more is look at your dry yields over here, okay? So everything that was above 73 bushel, the average rate applied was 140,000 seeds an acre. 67.5 to 73, right, was 141. So really what we're seeing is as the yields went down, we can correlate to that average rate applied going up, okay? Again, that's Deere really taking a stab at what are you trying to figure out and how simple can we make it for you guys to get that data to make those decisions. So there's a lot of good stuff that goes in here. Keep pushing buttons in here, keep looking for new functionalities, but between the new Field Analyzer Beta, and the new Analyze section, there's a lot that can be gleaned in information. So guys, thanks for spending a couple minutes today working through the new functions within the John Deere Ops Center and the Analyze section. If you have more questions, be sure to reach out to your local IS consultant.